Welcome back. Well, as I'm sure many of us know, we had plenty of rain, too much rain that our ground can't even really handle it. So the good news is that we're getting somewhat of a break from that intense widespread rainfall, but we're not quite done with that moisture in general. Today, though, we're going to be kind of switching gears a little bit to talk about the heat. We're already fairly warm for how early in the morning it is already, and we're sitting in the upper 60s. Many of our cities already jumping into the 70s. Blue Earth, Fairmont, Algona, Estherville, all at 70 degrees. Spencer already at 73. So that really just kind of goes to show you just how warm we're going to be by later on this afternoon. Most of us expected to reach into the upper 80s, and even a bunch of us making it into the 90s. It wouldn't surprise me if a couple more cities make it closer to that 95-degree point too. So very warm conditions out there, and we're going to be having some warm dew points to go along with it. We're sitting right in that I need gills to breathe category. It's going to feel gross. It's going to feel summer-like, and when you mix that intense dew point with those warm temperatures, it's not going to necessarily be the most pleasant out there, especially later on in this afternoon. One good thing, though, is that we are going to be seeing a decent amount of winds. Now, normally I feel like we usually talk about winds kind of in a negative light, but today that breeze is really going to help kind of make it less unbearable out there. But with that being said, though, that wind is still coming out of the south or out of the southeast, so it is going to be that warm kind of humid breeze, unlike when we see those northerly winds that feel kind of like a relief. That being said, though, some kind of movement in the air is always better than nothing, especially when we're talking 90-degree temperatures with those upper 70s dew points. We're going to see those winds really kind of get intense in the afternoon. We'll see some gusty conditions close to around 30 miles an hour at times. Keep in mind our counties a little further towards the west, especially along Blue Ridge, will usually be seeing some stronger wind speeds than the rest of us. We'll see sustained winds in that 15 to 20 mile per hour mark along with those gusty conditions. Radar right now is fairly clear. We're not really looking at a whole lot going on. A couple of areas of green popping up here, but that's just going to be that interference with the radar beam and clouds in the air or treetops and things like that. Most of us remaining dry throughout the majority of the day, but that's not necessarily going to remain true throughout the entire day. We're watching the potential for some showers here and there in the afternoon and maybe even some thunderstorms. So today is going to be another one of those events where it's kind of a big if. It's going to be one of those things where if the atmosphere is able to sustain those storms, we could be looking at some strong to severe weather, meaning we could see hail, some damaging winds, and we can't rule tornadoes out at this point, but it's not the most likely threat compared to hail and winds for the most part. That being said, though, that is all if those storms are able to develop. So right here we're seeing after lunchtime some rain developing across the area, and even this is making it look a little bit more intense than it will actually be. It's likely going to be kind of those on and off showers, and very possible that not even all of us will be seeing that rain throughout the day. Later on is when we could see the potential for some thunderstorms, especially further up towards the north. So keep in mind, if you do commute to the Twin Cities, you could be impacted by that a little bit more. We'll see one more round of some showers tomorrow morning, and then we'll get a little bit more of a break from that rain. As we can see, though, another round of some potentially widespread showers and thunderstorms later on in the week, but we'll also be having a little bit of relief from that heat. So another week to definitely remain weather aware and have a way to receive those alerts in case you need them. That's all for weather. We'll be right back.